Live from our studios in Lincoln, your news leader. 1011 News at 6 starts now.
Some people are digging out. Many, though, are enjoying the snow day.
While others are stuck as the snow just keeps falling and the wind's howling.
Interesting thing is that you go back to a primitive life.
Crews are doing their best to keep up, but the storm is paralyzing parts of Nebraska. It's our top story on 1011 News at 6.
And good evening, everyone. I'm Owen Jensen.
And I'm Bridget Farjan. In the scope of this statewide storm, Lincoln fared okay, but if you are heading west, think again. Getting across the state right now, nearly impossible.
That's right. Westbound I-80 is closed at the Lincoln Airport. Here's a look. Just one exit west. The interstate is shut down in both directions all the way to North Platte. That's a couple of 100 miles. Now, the heavy snow and whiteout conditions making travel treacherous, which means some truck drivers are stuck waiting it out. 1011's Megan Bragg live with the story. Megan?
Yeah, Bridget and Owen, I'm seeing a lot of people come off of the interstate, but nobody can pass at this point. Here in the capital city, road conditions are getting a lot better, but issues today for drivers who didn't have that four-wheel drive and semi-truck drivers even getting stuck at rest stops.
We're trying to get these chains under here so we can get some grip.
With Interstate 80 shut down, some semi-truck drivers have been at this parking lot for hours.
It sets us back quite a bit. I mean, we could be here for a couple days at the most, you know.
Steve KOLN is carrying candy to Salt Lake City, Utah. It's supposed to be delivered Thursday, but the interstate being shut down isn't his only problem. His truck keeps getting stuck.
Have you had to do this before?
No, never.
Never.
No, I haven't been stuck in this truck before, so.
Steve wasn't the only one. John Smith's route is to Arizona, and he's already behind schedule.
Well, I didn't get out of here good enough. I stopped because I was going to think about turning and go out of here.
But with a little help,
See you later.
Thank you, man.
both trucks eventually got out of this parking lot. They say with these conditions, they have to keep moving spots so the heavy snow doesn't collect under the tires. And for now, Steve says he will wait as long as they need until the roads are safe.
That's why they do the closures, is to protect people from all the accidents.
Now, it doesn't just stop at trucks. We saw a lot of cars out today, slipping, sliding, getting stuck. So if you are going to travel tonight anywhere, just take it slow. Now, joining me now is 1011's Alice Kleinpeter. Hello, Alice. She's going to talk to us a little bit about what's going on out west.
Obviously, we can't get out to central Nebraska. This is about as far as I go because the I-80 is closed from Lincoln all the way to North Platte. Now, here's some of the conditions that they're dealing with out there. This is video out in Kearney taken by our sister station, KSNB. Now, they have really terrible conditions right now with a lot of blowing snow. Some travelers who tried to get their car out this morning ended up getting stuck in the snow.
To really push to get it open because there's 2 feet of snow right next to it, and then my mom had to dig the car out of the snow, and she had to leave it sitting there because the doors froze.
Out in Hastings, we're told many of the residential areas have been plowed. With so much blowing snow, they haven't been plowed. Now, it's caused some delays for the streets department. They expected to hit residential areas around 4 this afternoon. Now, I reached out to the Nebraska Department of Roads. There's no word on when the I-80 is going to open back up. Now, if you're traveling, you can dial 511 to get road conditions and more information, and we will continue to keep you updated as we get more information in. Reporting in Lincoln, Alice Kleinpeter, 1011 News.
Yeah, it looks dangerous out there. Thank you very much, Alice and Megan. Well, as for Lincoln, 100 city and contracted crews are out on the streets. The good news, police only reported 5 car crashes between midnight and noon.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Now, a residential parking ban just went into effect at 6 o'clock, just a few minutes ago, meaning you cannot park on even-numbered sides of the streets until further notice. It's going to take 48 hours for plows to clear residential areas, so be patient. Now, in Omaha, anywhere from 5 to 7 inches fell in Douglas and Sarpy counties, with schools and many businesses closed. Crews got to work trying to clear the roads. The wind and heavy snow also caused thousands to lose power in Omaha.
Northeast Nebraska also got hammered as many roads are impassable. Nebraska State Patrol and the Department of Roads pulled crews off the roads where blowing snow is making things just too difficult and unsafe. NSP is also investigating a deadly single-car crash near Macy on Highway 75.
And now to Skyview for a live look of the capital city. You can see Vine Street right here. It looks pretty good right now, in decent shape, but we've seen a mix of everything this afternoon. So what's on tap for tonight? Here's Ken staying on top of it all with the first look at the forecast. Ken?
We're going to start everybody off with a look at storm tracker radar because snow, light to moderate times, will continue to be an issue. Maybe some of us seeing another 1 to 3 inches of snow before it's all said and done. So don't be surprised if you pick up some additional snowfall in central and eastern Nebraska. Here's a look at the advisories. We continue with the blizzard warning, the winter storm warning, and the winter weather advisory across much of the coverage area. So again, conditions are not expected to improve for most of us between now and midnight. So be careful out there. Temperatures right now in the 20s and lower 30s. Lincoln at 32 with a little bit of a mixed bag of precipitation. We do have north winds, even in the capital city. Now winds have swung around to the north. These are sustained at 25 to 35 miles an hour, and these are wind gusts between 35 and nearly 50 miles an hour across the region, dropping wind chill visibility, I should say, significantly across much of the area, and wind chills into the single digits and teens. So once again, please be careful out there. Here's a look at satellite radar. Again, between now and 10 o'clock, we'll watch that precipitation continue to move east and slowly begin to wind down. As far as 10 o'clock temperatures are concerned, most of us will be in the 20s. We'll have complete forecast details coming up in just a few.
All right, thank you, Ken. With the snow and wind that hammered Lincoln this morning, more than 2,500 people lost power. The largest concentration was in central Lincoln between 27th and 48th Streets. And 1011's Bill Rentschler joins us now live with the details. Bill?
Bridget, I told you yesterday that when we see a wet and heavy snow that we could see some power outages, and that's exactly what we saw this morning. You can kind of see behind me these trees, the branches sagging down from the weight of the snow that was on them this afternoon. That's what caused a lot of problems. The power outages started early this morning with around 2,500 reported by LES by around 7 a.m. That number peaked about an hour later with LES reporting around 2,800 customers who had lost power. Now, I spoke with one family who lost power today. They said they were prepared for the storm, but not for the power outage. But luckily, they only lost power for a few hours.
You go back to a primitive life. It really is. It's a moment where you kind of go back to where people didn't have power, and you have to learn how to adapt.
With another family who lost power today, they were concerned because there was a young child at home who was complaining about being cold because they lost heat. But again, luckily, power was restored fairly quickly. Now, the last that I checked, LES's power outage map on their website showed that there were no more major power outages, but they only show if there are 10 or more homes that have lost power. So we still could be seeing some sporadic power outages across the city, but all large power outages have been restored. Reporting live in Lincoln, Bill Rentschler, 1011 News.
All right, Bill, thank you very much for that update. Well, driving around town, no easy task tonight. The side streets are a big mess, which was no surprise after all the snow that fell. Meanwhile, as we just mentioned a moment ago, but it's worth repeating, a residential parking ban now in effect in Lincoln, which should allow plows into your neighborhood to clear some streets. Now, driving down some main roads earlier today, like Superior and 27th Street, there's some really big puddles on those streets, and when cars or trucks went through them, it launched a mini tidal wave of water flying high into the air, at least 10 feet sometimes I saw. Now, in the meantime, if you were one of the many people stuck at home today, how did you spend it with no school and several businesses shut down? Some people stayed inside to avoid the elements, smart thing, but others took advantage of the first snow day of 2016. Taylor Barth continues our team coverage from South Lincoln, and she's live with the story. Taylor?
Owen, if you headed outside today to try to scoop your driveway or your sidewalks, it didn't take long to figure out that this snow is just plain heavy. Now, many people in this neighborhood stayed inside. It was pretty quiet around here today, but some families did remind us that snow days don't always have to be spent inside. The first snow day of the year didn't disappoint.
My wife and I quickly debated whether or not we tell the kids or just let them go to bed, since it was right about that time, and just then 3 phones rang and they knew what it was.
This neighborhood near 14th and Pine Lake was quiet Tuesday morning with streets packed with snow and hard to navigate. But one street was full of life and laughter.
We relaxed inside and then the kids got up. They were like, we want to go play. So they got snow clothes on and we're all outside playing.
Sledding in the backyard and a snowball fight in the front. It wasn't all fun and games. Matt still had to clear his family's driveway, but wants a lazy day at home with the kids.
We stocked up pretty good, not over excessively, but I mean, we've got enough to stay in today, relax, fireplace, TV, movies, and just relax.
Now, hanging out with those families today was certainly a good reminder for me that snow days can indeed be fun. Now, of course, the city has not been able to get through these residential areas and plow the streets in this neighborhood as well as many others across the city. So, of course, if you are headed out, be sure to use extra caution and take it slow. Reporting live in Lincoln, Taylor Barth, 1011 News.
All right, Taylor, I want to see you build a big snowman later on. We'll talk to you later. You got some great packing snow out there for snowmen and snowballs and all that kind of good stuff.
Oh, to be a kid again and get to enjoy the snow instead of having to be an adult and come to work, right?
I know, I got a shovel and all that nonsense, I tell you. Oh, well.
Well, UNL canceled classes in the snowstorm, but the women's basketball game's still on. We have a preview coming up in sports.
Plus, there's no rest at all for the presidential candidates. A day after the Iowa caucuses, it's on to New Hampshire, and we'll take you there later on. But first, a look at today's Lincoln and Grand Island weather almanacs.